Season 8, Episode 18, The End in French. What are they going to name this thing in other regions? I guess they just remove the pun.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll replace it with another pun.
The cessation of camaraderie.
Also,
but
also, didn't Rarity's boots have toes on them? Why?
Style, I guess.
I suppose
You call that
seems a little odd.
although another question, those stilettos must have been really painful. Because if they were hidden within the heel, but there really wasn't much heel there, I would have hurt.
Darling, beauty is pain.
Yes, but if they were meant for trotting, that's not really conducive, and she should have known that being a fashionista.
Yes. And of course, I wonder if we. I like the oblique reference to these boots are made for walking.
These boots are made for walking.
That's just what I'll do.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over. Alright. So we begin with Twilight brings in Dash and Rarity as examples of two friends with very different interests that are still friends that make time for one another.
Yeah, what could go wrong?
This episode happens in the spring, as Rainbow says that Rarity is already working on her fall line and it isn't even summer yet.
No.
It couldn't be winter because it's too green. We've shown in Winter Wrap-Up that that's always sort of snow-covered.
Winter Wrap-Up!
Yes, that was the name of the episode. Her seasonal fashion lines and Rainbow's Wonderbolt practice make it hard to plan time for one another. Well, I think they have next to no free time as it is anyway, because now they're both teachers and Wonderbolt. A teacher was a Wonderbolt and a teacher, and Rarity runs 3 shops, maintains her fashion line, and teaches all at the same time, and then you're gonna find some spare time.
Dear Lord.
But
That's just torture.
And they spend that free time with each other. Aww.
so the two talk over one another as they say what they're gonna do with one another. That could be, there's read wrong. The students are skeptical as they don't seem to have much in common and aren't immediately compromising. Their claim to friendship is being friends a very long time and knowing all the same ponies. Twilight suggests they watch the two in order for the students to understand their friendship, because that won't make them self-conscious.
No, not at all.
Yes,
That's absolutely not awkward and can put a strain on any friendship. Which is why I don't understand reality television.
You and me both, dude.
it's not going to, you're never going, if people know they're being filmed, you're never going to get a truly natural reaction. And in this case, they're being watched by a bunch of very impressionable children. So you pile double on that. And, it's not going to fly well. Though they
What?
seem to not care anyway because they just keep fighting with each other.
What's the scientific term? If something is observed, the result will not be the same.
Oh, that's
Roding nets?
well, that Schrodinger's the way to explain it, but Heisenberg, I think, uncertainty principle. You can know exactly where something is or how fast it's going, but you can't know both. And at that level, at the tiny level, you can know where it's going, or because if you measure one, the other becomes. You destroy the information of the other.
Yeah.
But they go to play bookball, and Verity refuses to pay attention to the game.
But I have the basket and everything, see, darling.
Instead, opting to doodle out fashion ideas. She doesn't even try to sit. She doesn't try to catch the ball as she deems it's
Too dangerous, darling.
Yeah, well, you know what Darkwing Duck says. Let get dangerous.
Oh, Lord.
Anyway, so following football, which Rainbow cut short because she's tired of, being the playing buckball with the kid who eats crickets in the outfield.
I don't get that reference.
It's not really a reference so much as
You just had some weird ass friends as a kid, didn't you?
Well, no, I never actually saw that myself, but that's the sort of idea of the kid who really isn't paying much attention. You stick him in the outfield. Well, generally, all the good players are in the infield. All the iffy players are in the outfield. Generally.
Well, I get that part, but I don't get the eating crickets part.
Well, just as a means of explaining that they're not paying very much attention to the game.
Mm-hmm. I still say you had some really fucked up friends as a kid.
And crickets are delicious.
You know this firsthand?
It depends on how they're prepared.
And chocolate-covered crickets,
Yeah, I mean, that's not too bad. A little too crunchy for my taste.
I'm happy to know I don't know what the taste of cricket is like, so...
There's something new all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Just don't eat ants. Those are disgusting. They taste like bad breath.
And on it. Entomology today. So they go to the shoe store. Rambo doesn't understand heels on a horse.
I don't either. I don't understand heels on a woman.
Not yet.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, heels were invented for dudes, but
That was a saddle thing. I think.
That and for butchers to avoid stepping in blood.
you're both exactly right.
Yeah. Or the stirrups, but anyway. Or the need to be ahead of the curve on fashion. Because if you're in fashion right now, you might as well be out of fashion, because you need to be ahead of what fashion is right now to be in fashion for a while.
I buy clothes that are like 5 seasons ago.
I buy clothes that don't even have a season because I don't care how they look. I care more about comfort unless I'm dealing with a costume, in which case, again, it's not so much the season. It's, I could totally use this because this looks like something so-and-so would wear.
Yeah, pretty much the same.
Yes, I am a fan of the logoless tee and jeans.
I don't like jeans. I don't like denim. The texture that's too
Well, I'm from Texas, so you
Yeah,
you,
you a cowboy wannabe.
not so much that, it's just that's what's worn. That's the thing. um, well, and I think it's just a general. There's a lot more people that wear it down, but anyway, it's just so flexible in terms of what you can wear with it. It doesn't really care.
Oh, I was gonna say that's what I don't like about it. It's not flexible.
And yeah, and what you can wear with it, you can wear almost anything with it, and it looks okay.
Again, I don't give a shit about fashion. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay.
just to not look like a clown. It's like I don't have to worry about, oh, do this pants match anything? No, they're blue jeans. They go with anything.
I'm more a fan of if I'm wearing pants, I'm wearing like sweatpants or yoga pants or something stretchy like that, leggings, or I just wear a dress.
This has been fashion advice from Crunchy Monkey Studios.
Anyway, she's also not a fan of the glitter coming off the shoes Rarity picks out as it gets on her as
I hate
well.
that.
Oh, I dislike that immensely. You know,
Retail. I know all about this shit.
I grew up with two younger sisters. I get it.
Where does all that glitter come from?
You don't even know. Like, there have been times I've been processing shoes and the glittery heels, and it gets everywhere.
Yeah.
It's even worse during the holiday season when everything is covered in, all the decorations and stuff you get is covered in glitter.
Yeah.
There is a reason it's called the artist's herpes.
Yeah, and and what makes me wonder is, okay, MLP's got clothing lines. Okay, do the Rainbow Dash shoes have glitter on them? That would be really funny. It's like, oh, come on. It's got my face on it, but what's with all the glitter? Rarity, fine, but don't put glitter on my shoes.
This is all Rarity's fault. I know it.
You listen to Rarity way too much. I know she's the fashion person, but don't put glitter on my shoes. Anyway, so Twilight plays the complaints off as banter. I don't think that's quite right, but okay. So afterwards, they seem to be going for something that they might both enjoy. They next go missing. Bleh, try that again. They next go mining for gems underground. They both seem excited for this activity. Dash seems convinced that there's a secret treasure chamber. She makes quite the racket as she pulls down on what she thinks is a lever that will lead to said chamber. Though, why she thinks that's a thing.
Especially with the way that they're crisscrossed. Those two are crisscrossed. Why didn't she grab the other one instead?
Yeah. Dash breaks Rarity's gems, which are surprisingly fragile. And this sets off a fight, and the two go their separate ways in a huff.
God.
We get this exchange. Ready? That is it. This day of fun is officially over. Fine by me. Maybe I can spend some time doing something I actually like now. Young Six, gasp. Twilight, surely you don't mean that. Don't call me Shirley. You're just having a little disagreement. Just sometimes that happens between pals. No matter what, they always get past the problem and stay good friends. To which Dash replies, I don't think we can. You don't care about any of the things I like. It's always about you and your boring fashions. Rarity, oh please, you don't even give my interests a chance. You have absolutely no respect for the finer things. No respect, I tell you. So she's apparently Rodney Dangerfield. Rarity, I suppose we're just not friends anymore. And Rainbow Dash, the same time, same thing. students gasp and scribble busily. Rarity. And then there was the time Rainbow Dash called my Cloudsdale Couture boutique idea impractical. This is into the, they go to a sort of counseling session with Gloom Glam. And there was this time Rainbow Dash called my Cloudsdale Couture boutique idea impractical. Imagine that. Just because I needed Twilight to form the butterfly wing spell on me whenever I wanted to lift merchandise. Rainbow Dash, and I told her 1,000 times, Pegasus, I don't even want restrictive heavy dresses. We need to be able to fly. Duh. Not to mention the day I was wearing a really gorgeous hat, and Rainbow Dash didn't even notice. Rainbow Dash, the Wonderbolt show was ruined. Rarity's hat was blocking every pony's view. Rarity's coming out the worst on this end. On this end of the counseling, it's like, your friend's giving you legitimate advice about, you know, what will fly. Fun? No? Okay. And she also wear a ridiculous hat that blocked everybody's view. So, yeah, Rainbow Dash is looking more on the right on from these, it's coming out better looking on this situation. Gloom Glam suggests that they could reenact over reading each other's favorite book. We get another exchange that I think is really nice. That's important. Okay, I'll go first. I really enjoy the part in Daring Do in the Razor of Dreams when Daring used the vicious crocodile as a raft. And then
I have a question.
Okay.
Who the hell starts a book club with book 4 of a series?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you know, Daring Do does seem to be a book series that you could get away with jumping in the middle of it, but yes, starting with the first book, and I know that would bother the snot out of you to jump in like third or fourth book.
Yeah, I would never ever, and I mean, we don't know whether that was the first book or not, but with the Scarlet, whatever her name was, Scarlet Shadow or whatever it was.
Spade. Something Spade. Sapphire Spade or something? I forget. Whatever. Doesn't really... Shadow Spade, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, it'll probably come up at some point. But yeah, I'm fairly certain that sounds like a later book. But yeah. You could get away with it a little easier, I think, with Daring Do, since it's a more episodic series, and it follows the same sort of. You literally know the antagonist because you've probably met. You think they met Caballero at that Daring don't. I think they flat out just met Caballero, so it's not like she doesn't know who the villain is.
Yeah.
It's like you actually know this person.
Yeah. So I mean, the pronunciation thing is kind of like, you know that person. Although I honestly can't pronounce my nephew's last name, so it's that.
Well, in fact, I'll get to that in a second. So, Rainbow Dash, Rarity's like, please, Rainbow Dash, what's so funny? Oh, sorry, it's just that I find those action sequences so ridiculously over the top. But they're real. You even met Daring Do. Rarity's really coming out the worst for this one. Rarity, yes, but the book's descriptions just drag on. A detective novel enthusiast is complaining about excessive detail. Repeat that. A detective novel enthusiast is complaining about detail.
Especially since her Rainbow Dash's retort was, your book spent like an hour on a shoe color.
And what about the silly, unpronounceable name, Dr. Caballero? Which, you know, maybe that's Caballero, just like it looks. How hard is that? Which, you know, yes, she should remember because, you know, she met them. But to be fair to her, it is based on, you know, the double L does usually produce a Y sound in the Spanish words. It does produce a lot of those. So if she wasn't remembering the name and she was looking at it, Caballero is Spanish for horse, which is where they got his name. So it it makes since she didn't remember how it was spelled, how it was pronounced, but you noticed it was a Spanish word or the equivalent of Spanish word. It her going to Caballeron is not that crazy. Which makes me wonder if they flip the pronunciations in the Spanish dub of this. If this gets a Spanish dub, what do they flip those? Because it depends on how they initially pronounce Caballeron. Do they initially pronounce it as Caballeron or Caballeron? If it's Caballeron, and she makes the mistake of calling him Caballeron, it doesn't make as much sense, but at least it would be consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, and Shadow Spade. Anyway, Rainbow didn't read the book. The two bicker as Glim Glam goes for help. She ports back and tells them that Twilight needs their assistance. The amulet of Aurora is missing. It can reverse the tides and summon tsunamis, but we're going to keep it at a school with a bunch of children. Seriously, Celestia, this is your idea of a good place to put this?
I mean, to be fair, they did also use Price's artifacts for a scavenger hunt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before it was just, okay, these are artifacts. It's a little reckless to let all these kids handle artifacts, but, okay. They didn't, it's not like they could hurt anybody with them. It's like, it's the difference between leaving a first edition of, Huckleberry Finn out on the table around a bunch of 6-year-olds and leaving a loaded weapon again around a kid who has no idea what, has never been taught firearm safety. He's never been told to stay away from guns and just doesn't know what it is. It's like, really? More like a nuke with a big red button on it that says fire. And, just leaving a 6-year-old, like a little kid in here, it's like, yes, this could do a ton of damage. But I'm just going to leave this button right here. Anyway, so Rainbow initially thinks the blue sparkles are from Rarity, but her boots are magenta.
And I like to say something. Do you know what's worse than glitter? Gravity-defying glitter.
Yes.
Well, at least it doesn't seem to get on anything.
That bugged me. It's like, why is the glitter floating in the middle of the air?
Gravity-defying glitter!
It's azurantium.
Yeah, well, Azurantium ought to keep an eye on her.
She has an epiphany and charges after the trail. Anyway, so, Rarity, we get the boots were not made for trotting as advertised. Rainbow knows the amulet is made of azurantium, a material that leaves a blue trail wherever it goes conveniently.
Literally.
She learned about in a Daring Do book. Turns out that book was the assigned reading, and Rarity also didn't do it. Which makes me wonder also about the conservation of mass in this universe. Just sort of magically produces. I guess that's a very minor thing when it can turn tides and cause tsunamis. Yeah, it
No.
produces extra mass by just sort of
No,
reducing
see,
the
the
extra glitter.
thing about glitter is that you would think that something would not produce that much glitter, but it just comes from nowhere.
It does. That glitter just it just miraculously appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think it comes from hammer space.
Yep, I believe it.
Same with confetti, but confetti not as much.
I
I thought that was me.
Yeah, that's awful. The glitter, something has just, it just looks like it's got a sprinkling of glitter, and that glitter lasts forever.
Yep.
And I can only imagine, thinking about it now, if, Pinky launches one of her party cannons in your house, you will be cleaning up glitter forever.
Yep. Well, confetti, but still.
Well, I'm sure their confetti comes with glitter.
Did you know you can order a glitter bomb in the mail and have some unsuspecting fool open it?
I've heard of that, yes.
Hey, what's your address?
Yeah, no. No, and I would treat anything you sent me with suspicion anyways.
For all we know, it would be nudes of yourself dancing the chicken dance.
No, that's the secret YouTube video.
Which nobody has alerted me to yet, so I assume doesn't exist. Anyway, if you didn't already figure it out, they throw another clue, and Rarity notices claw marks. It's like, yep. So they trace it to I guess it's Froggy Bottom Bog. That's the swampy area around Ponyville, which apparently is very the school is very close to Froggy Bottom Bog. It's basically right next to it.
No, you see, Ponyville wanted to block off the bog because it was ruining their status as their tourist status, scaring people off. So they used the school to cover it up.
Which you'd think Rarity would have, not Rarity, Fluttershy would have had a problem with, but anyway, biodiversity and whatnot. So yeah, we find out Rainbow Dash went with Scootaloo to her Philly Scout camp.
Uh-uh.
To which point, Rarity assembles a raft after Dash determines the bog is too deep with a cattail, and that the geysers might torch her wings. We get the SS Crocodile, or Crocodile rather. They run into a Boufogrin, frog-looking thing with a bunch of eyes, sensitive hearing, and horrendous breath. They can't get close enough to both hear the quiet speech of the Boufogrin without being absolutely repulsed by his breath. So they freshen his breath with an old unicorn trick that for some reason involves Cloud. I mean, If it's an old unicorn trick,
She probably needed the water, but she didn't want the water from the actual swamp because that was disgusting.
maybe.
So
But
cloud was used because she needed a water source that was clean. And if you're going to be in a swamp, there really isn't clean water unless you purify it, like using a cloud.
I just think the cloud gave it its like nice creamy texture. Here, eat some toothpaste.
Yeah, that's basically what it was.
So, Rainbow Dash, do you not know what toothpaste is?
No, they don't have toothpaste because they just
Apparently.
use magic gum.
Anyway, so the sparkly thing. Well, once they've freshened his breath to the point where they can actually, get close enough to hear him, they find out that it went up. Which, with Spike being now winged, can happen. Another clue appears as the door has the school seal on it, though it looks much older than it should. Yeah, it's like...
Fog just rotted it due to erosion because it was so nasty.
That'd have to be a pretty vicious bog to ruin a door that quickly. I mean, it's been months, not years at this school, so I mean...
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how fast something can mildew in that kind of environment.
But either way, that should have been a clue immediately that, hey, that's a school symbol. It turns out Rarity's boots also had deployable heels, which she uses to pick the lock.
Where would she keep them? Like, just how?
Oh, I know. The pointy thing, so they're not like just one long rod. That sounded dirty. But it's kind of like one of those collapsing telescoping things.
Even if it were a telescopic heel, still, that wouldn't be very easy to walk on then. And I mean, I don't mean just because stilettos are a bitch to walk on. Sounds like somebody's speaking from experience.
No, I just cringe every time I see ladies walking and it's like, why?
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, I can just blow and you'll fall over.
There are some women who can actually walk pretty well in those, surprisingly.
Anyway, at this point, they make amends, discover the tunnel leads to a secret entrance to the school. Spike was the quote-unquote thief. It was, in fact, all a ruse to get them back together. With the overall lesson of, you could be friends, but have different interests. And that's the end of what I had to say about that. That's all I had to say about that.
Let's see. I already made my gravity-defying glitter comment. Books.
Books!
Books.
Well, if there's nothing else, we'll call that a review.
Yeah.
The picture's cute. Tammy got Lyra with Bon Bon.
Yep, more Lyra Bon.
Yes, they are the best of friends.
I know.
They're super friends.